downloaded the software what Shruti ma'am has given for today's session. So our today's speaker is none other than Ms. Shruti Nikam, who is a corporate trainer in Simply Learn. We have already experienced her session yesterday, and today the session would be taken by her on data visualization tools using Power BI. Without much ado, ma'am, I request you to begin your today's session on the topic data visualization tools using Power BI. Over to you, ma'am. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you very much, Natika ma'am.
Our pleasure, ma'am.
Glad to see you all here. I hope you all had a wonderful day, everyone. So, do we have Power BI downloaded within your systems? Just a quick
Yes, ma'am.
reaction. Yes? Great. Glad to see you all here. And as yesterday, we are going to talk. Yes, we will interact, we will talk. Let's talk about a little bit about Power BI. Power BI is far different from Tableau, but it has multiple similarities with Tableau too. Because Power BI essentially is an extension to Excel, Power Pivot Tables, and Power Pivot Tables. So if you have worked with pivot tables, you know how that works. Let's understand Power BI is just an extension to that. So when we create pivot tables, we have the option of pivot charts. And on that similarity, it has taken it forward. But Power BI, Tableau is pretty easy. Okay, you download it, install it, and it's there. It works. There is not much logical layers behind that. But if we talk about Power BI works on a very hard architecture, and that is based on our Excel Power Pivot. So we have to see there are multiple components to Power BI. Tableau has just one thing to do, that is the connect to data source and give us the option to customize multiple visualization. And Tableau has fantastic customizing options for us. But let's talk about Power BI. Power BI actually gives us a very, very good tool to clean our data set. In Tableau, we haven't seen that. In Tableau, we were getting the data and we don't have much to do there in terms of cleaning the data properly or preparing the data. But in Power BI, we do get that. So Power BI basically have four components. These components are, first is the whole desktop, right? Where we have just now downloaded that. What that is our desktop. This is also called as Power View. So it has main three components. First is our Power BI desktop, that is will be our Power View. What will the Power View help us? It will help us to create visuals again. Okay, create visuals, format them, create the dash, create the reports, in Power BI. Then we have Power Query. This is very important component of Power BI. This Power Query is actually used for cleaning your data, transforming your data, and it has some multiple very um, interactive and useful transformation queries for us. Plus, just there is no drag and drop in Power Query or in Power BI. A very simple drag and drops are there, but mostly it is going to be going to the ribbons and working with that. So we have worked with Excel before, Word and PowerPoint before. It has a similar structure, but it is a very, very powerful tool in terms of cleaning your data. It can find duplicates, remove duplicates, it can replace things. And if you want to do a pivoting in there, totally restructure the whole table, it can be done too. You can add a whole new table too. So Power Query is a very powerful data cleaning tool. That's why this is one of the major strength of Power BI. After this, we have the third very important component, and that is data modeling. So what is data modeling here? This is our Power Pivot component. This is our Power Pivot component. It is taken from Excel only. This is the Power Pivot component. It will help us to do data modeling, to create relationships. It will also help us to do any type of calculations, measures, whatever we want to do there. So this is our Power Pivot. And once we download Power BI, these components are already there. These components are already there. How these three components are connected with each other? So this first thing that is we have is there are more than 90 sources that it can connect with. Okay, it can connect with multiple different format of files, same as Tableau. And yes, it can connect with multiple servers, clouds there. After that, once we go ahead and get the data within Power BI, the first thing that we always go is the Power Query. What is Power Query? Power Query is the tool for ETL, that is extraction, transformation, and load. So Power Query helps us to extract data from wherever sources we need.
Excuse ma'am,
Hi,
if
yes.
if you can increase the volume because
Your voice,
Audio
ma'am,
is
is
low.
coming slightly low.
How about now?
Better, ma'am.
All right,
Slightly
great.
it was feeble. Now I guess it is better.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Okay, so far we have seen here that we have three major components: Power Query, Power Pivot, and Power View. So in Power Query will help us to do the ETL, that is extracting the data, transforming the data, reshaping the data, and combine the data sets together. Meaning if you want to do a join, like merge or append, or you want to extract something from a folder itself, you want your data to be refreshed there, and you want to clean the data properly, then there is Power Query. Power Query has the whole interface where we can select everything and drag, drop, select. There are multiple options there, but Power Query uses mQuery language. That is the morph language we have. This is a totally different coding language that Power Query uses, and we don't have to write it. It is mostly like VBA and macros. So in macro, we do a recording and VBA codes are written for us. In Power Query also, we do the data cleaning and the code at the back is written for us. And that code is rerun every time whenever you will open the Power BI and work on that particular report. So Power Query only save the steps to clean the data set. It doesn't simply save a cleaned data set. It doesn't do that. It is not going to save a cleaned data set. No. It whatever cleaning steps we are going to perform, they will get coded at the back and they will be saved there. Same as VBA codes. And every time you run that particular program or open that particular Power BI, that cleaning will happen every time, because it is going to fetch the data again, clean the data again, and then give it to that, then give that to us. And that is Power Query. Power Pivot here, it will help in data modeling. Data modeling is basically about connecting the data sets together based on a logical relationship. So we are not going to merge multiple tables together and create a very big table which has multiple duplicates and might be null values there. So here in data modeling, we go ahead and we simply save the logic and the relationship between the two tables here or data tables here. Now, what is the relationship here? Relationship is based on the common column. So as we all are using Excel for a long time, we know the VLOOKUP, right? So in the VLOOKUP, how do we decide that two tables are connected? Based on a common column. On the similar basis, here also, we understand what is the common column and how does they relate with each other, and we create the relationships right here. Now here Power Pivot also helps us to do multiple different type of calculations and measures. We can add here within Power Pivot, we can add here calculated column, a calculated measure, and a whole calculated table too. But all of that is done by using DAX. DAX is data analysis expressions. This is a pure different coding language. Most of the time, DAX is a coding language. It's a pure functional coding language, meaning it has its own rules and regulations to type it properly. But they have also given us DAX functions that for most of the part resemble the Excel functions. So it is easy to understand, easy to work with. If you're from the coding background, it will be fun to work with. But yes, in Tableau, the calculations are easier as compared to Power BI. So this is Power Pivot, which will provide us DAX. I see this is very important here to understand the architecture in Power BI. Tableau was pretty straightforward. That's why there was no PowerPoint there. But here we need to understand this. And then come your Power View. In Power View, you can create the reports. And please remember that in Power BI, no matter where you go, there is a difference between the report and the dashboards. So reports are different here in Power BI and dashboards are different. Whatever we are going to create in Power BI, they are all called as reports. Dashboards are only created in Power BI service, which is called as Microsoft Fabric. Now, what is that? So after these three components, whatever we are going to create in our Power BI desktop application, it is going to be saved within our own system. But at the end, we want to share it with others also, right? So if we want to share it with others, the one issue is you need your organizational email ID password of Microsoft account also and Power BI account too. After that, only share these reports with the persons who are within your organization. You cannot share it outside. If you want to share it outside, you have to create an app, you have to publish that, and you can share a link with someone, and you have to set the security levels there. So since Power BI is already connected to a cloud, it is like the Google Drive. So in Google Drive, we share with each other, right? The similar manner, Microsoft Fabric is almost like it is on a very foundational basis. We can understand it like it's a Google Drive in which we are going to upload and save all our Power BI desktop reports. And from there only, we have to create dashboards there. We have to create whatever we want to create, then we will create on Microsoft Fabric only. And from there only, we publish it to other people or share it with other or people within the organization. So that is Microsoft Fabric that has a separate architecture to manage the databases and data set across the multiple layers. So there is a huge difference. Altogether different Microsoft Fabric is there, but that's where how we share the Power BI reports with others. And that is a totally different drive kind of, it's a cloud. Basically, it's a cloud. And in that cloud, we go ahead and we save it, we share it, and we manage our data sets there. And within Power BI Desktop also, we can access all the data sets that are present in their Microsoft Fabric. And there are multiple ways too. No, Ritu, it doesn't allow outsiders to edit. If you want to collab with someone, the collab will happen only on Microsoft Fabric. That will open in your browser, right? So these are here. So first thing that, of course, we are going to first extract the data. So first we are going to import our data. We connect it. We are going to transform it. It means we clean it properly. And then we are going to load it in Power BI. Whenever we are creating a Power BI report, these are the 5 things that we need. First is a data set, of course. We add the visualizations. We create a full report within one single frame. And now there will be tiles and dashboards. We'll see what tiles and dashboards are. So in general language, in Excel, when we are creating dashboard is just one single screen where we have multiple visualizations. That's what dashboard in Tableau was. But here in Power BI, we call that a report. Let's see why. So I want all of you to please go ahead and open up your Power BI application. Open up your Power BI application, please. I will do the same.
I just wanted to check with Power BI. I already have a Microsoft Office login from an institute. So, which I think that 365 gives us an access to Power BI. So, do you want us to sign in into that or because just
Don't
I've
sign in
uploaded it?
right now. It requires 2 accounts. So one in Microsoft you already have, right? But it also needs an account inside the Power BI. So you
Okay.
should have 2 accounts. One you should have created for one for Power BI, another account of Microsoft by which you have logged in other Microsoft applications, like you're talking about 365, right? So
Yes.
that you need that too. So you need 2 ID passwords, one for Microsoft, one for Power BI. So do not sign in right now
Okay. Thank you.
because it requires a whole different way, and we need to sign in only to publish it to the Microsoft Fabric. Right now, we will not go to Microsoft Fabric.
Okay.
We will understand how to work within the desktop first.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you. So I've shared here. This is going to be the backstage view of Power BI. So when you open the Power BI, what do you see? This is the interface. Our green colored pop-up box will be there. Do you see a green colored pop-up box there? When you double click on Power BI, you can close that off. Whenever you're ready with your Power BI desktop, please let me know. Ready? All right. So when you open that up, a green colored pop-up box will be there. Okay, where you have and the recent files are there. Then in the middle, they are going to show you multiple data set and the examples to go with. And on the right-hand side, there will be a link to their blogs and communities. So you can cross that off, and then you will see this particular interface. Please confirm, do we have the same interface here? Do we have filters, visualization, and data here?
Ma'am, I have a different screen. It says select a data source or start with a blank report.
Right. So it's selected data source and blank report. Let's start with blank report, please.
Okay, yeah.
Great. Thank you. Let's see the interface here first. While everyone else is opening, thank you very much for the confirmation on the chat. I'm glad to see the interaction here. Thank you. Let's go through the interface. So I have told you that there are three components, right? Where these three components are. So here, let's see this here, this whole part where you see the data and queries part, right? This whole part is your Power Query. As you can see right now, Power BI desktop is exactly similar to whatever we usually notice in other Microsoft applications. It has followed same structure here. We have File tab, Home, Insert, Modeling, View. It means we have multiple tabs. Inside these tabs, where you see these features, this is called as ribbons. You can collapse the ribbon, expand the ribbon, same as Excel. Now here we can see a huge white space here. This huge white space is again your canvas. This is called your canvas. This is canvas. I would also like you to notice here, this is not called a sheet. They are calling this as page 1, page 2, page 3. Towards the right of the canvas, you will see three panes. One is filters pane, visualization pane, and data pane. These are the panes which will help us to create a report here. Good thing with this canvas report is we can have multiple visualizations here. We can have multiple visuals here. So when I say multiple visuals here, it means we can have images, or maybe we want to keep logos here, maybe we want to color the background or something. So everything can be added here. We can insert anything that we want here. Any kind of objects we want, everything will be here. So Canvas is basically like an Excel dashboard or any dashboard definition we have so far known about. But Power BI call this a report. So each page is going to have one single report. These are called as panes, filter, visualization, and data. And whatever we add here, okay, we can have multiple panes opened up here from the view tab. As it is very clear from the name, here we are going to see our data set. These are the visualizations that Power BI provide. As you can see, all the visualizations are active, even though we do not have any data set yet. It means that Power BI is not well versed with any visual analytical tools or any visual analytics rules regulation about which chart to be created when. Okay, right now it is not there. In the new update, they have tried to embed within the Power BI. But in this particular Power BI, Power BI do not have that here to make anything inactive. Everything is active. We have to think for ourselves that which is right. Now pay attention to left-hand side of the screen. Now let's pay attention to left-hand side of the screen. You're going to find three things. Okay, one, where we are, this is our Power View, where we can see our canvas. So when you hover the cursor over it, it says this is the report view. Hover the cursor over the second icon, it says it's the table view. Third here is the model view. So let's get a data set inside it, and then we are going to explore all these three views within Power BI. Power BI is pretty powerful in cleaning the data and modeling the data to get it ready for the analysis. It will not do much good with visualizations here as compared to Tableau. But as compared to Tableau, Power BI has immense capabilities to work with live streaming data set. Let's see how it works. Step number 1, we need to get a file. We are going to get the same sample superstore file. Reason is it will be easier to work with since we are familiar with the data set. Second, we will be easily able to compare Tableau and Power BI. And comparative study you will always remember. So everyone, how to get the data here? To get the data here, we have within the Home tab, we have Get Data dropdown. And we can see Excel workbook is here. There are other are also outside. But let's go ahead and explore Get Data. Let's see from how many sources we can get the data in Power BI. So go to the dropdown here. There will be a list of common data sources. There's a list of common data sources. Let's click on More. So let's go to the Get Data dropdown here and let's click on More. Let's see here. So here, these are the all data set here. So basically the types of connectors that we have is first is upload a file directly from your system. Okay, you can connect to a database out here. Or if the data set is saved in Microsoft Fabric, any layer of the Microsoft Fabric, we can connect it from there. Then we have Power Platform. That is another application. Then you have Azure Services, which is the part of Microsoft. Other online services here and the more on other, whichever is not defined, that goes into the other. Power BI has Microsoft has a very good customer support for the organizations. So if they need a data connector for anything else, that is not defined here. Even that can be added within Power BI, which is fine. These are the list of databases here. Hi, Sarojini. Can you please this? Thank you. All right. Now this is Microsoft Fabric. So Microsoft Fabric has semantic models, data flows, marts, warehouses, lake houses, and KQL databases. So it seems like they have created a one lake. In that lake, they have lake houses where they have warehouses and data marts. So it's a huge architecture to handle or manage the data set. This is a Power Platform, Azure list of the data connectors and online services. Like this, they have more than 90 connectors available. You can also directly connect your Google Sheets here too. So if you have any data in Google Sheets or in the website, you can connect that here too. So there is a huge list of data connectors. What do we want to connect with? Excel workbook. So we need to go to all here and we click on Excel workbook. Since we're aware, Sample Superstore has 3 sheets that we could have seen in Tableau, right? So let's click on Excel workbook, highlight that place, and then click on Connect. Click on Connect. A familiar dialog box, yes, because this is where we have worked a lot within Microsoft. A familiar one here. Let's go ahead and get our Sample Superstore from my Tableau repository. In my Tableau repository, we have data sources. In data sources, we have 2024.1. We go inside the sources, we get our Sample Superstore, and we click on Open. Please do that. Go to your My Tableau repository, get Sample Superstore, and click Open. When you click Open, tell me what do you see on your screen.
It opens a navigator tab, but it is blank.
Right. What do you see here? Right. So there is a navigator tab. Have you selected the Sample Superstore and opened it, right?
Yes. So
But
if I click on that, I think I'll be able to get the preview. No, it gives me the option. I mean, like the files, orders, order for dollar database, people too.
correct. So in a navigator window, I'm reading the chat here. Shefali, you have the file in my Tableau repository. You were there yesterday? Were you there yesterday? Okay. If you were there, the sample superstore is in our My Tableau repository. Let me go there. No worries. So this is our data sources 2024 and sample superstore. Okay, I'm sharing it with you right now. I'm sharing it on Zoom here. Hi, Santosh. Yes, I'll definitely do that. So let's see how to connect with the data set. To connect with the data set, right now we want to connect with an Excel file, and that is our sample superstore. So we can connect with Excel workbook from here. We can also go to get data. We can get Excel from there too. So let's go ahead and click on Excel workbook. We have this in front of us. When you click on Excel workbook, it is going to ask us which data you want. So in my Tableau repository from yesterday, we do have sample superstore with us here. So let's click on sample superstore and click on open.
We're going very fast.
Yes, ma'am, please. Can you please wait for 2 minutes? We are just downloading the file.
You are down, but the file is with you, with all of you from the yesterday. It is the exact same file that we worked with Tableau.
Oh, okay.
Yes, yes, you don't need to download. You already have it with you. Don't worry. In my Tableau repository. Okay, why is it unable to connect? Is it, does it give you any error below that, Silsa? Make sure it is not inside a zip folder. If it is a normal Excel file, you can keep that on desktop also.
I also lost you for a bit because I joined in late. So the Power BI get started to work with data, you have to start. Where you see the basic screens.
Selena, your voice is echoing a lot. So we have just started. So open Power BI and just click on Excel workbook. And let's connect with yesterday's data set, that is sample superstore.
It is saying retry, edit, or cancel.
Okay, so just confirm, where is your sample superstore file? Is it in a zip folder?
No, ma'am, it is. I just downloaded from the chat you shared in Zoom.
Right, so it must be in the downloads, right?
Yes, right now.
So why don't you cut and paste that on desktop just to make sure it
Okay.
doesn't go to OneDrive?
Okay, okay.
Okay, because if it is in OneDrive, there will be issue. So everyone, click on Excel, find your sample superstore, and click open. I suggest go to your My Tableau repository folder from yesterday inside the documents, and from there, connect with sample superstore. Please do that. You must be looking at a navigator window. Please stop at the navigator window once it opens up. I'm looking at the chat box here. So if you're writing in there, I can see it. Once you opened it and you see a navigator window, you can give me a quick reaction also. You can write in chat. I'm looking at both here.
Ma'am, still the error persists. It's saying retry, edit, or cancel. It is saying the 32-bit version of the Access database engine provider may be required to read sample store.
Okay, so all right.
I'm also not being able to.
Give me a moment here. Well, you have a 64-bit system with you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Try this new version. That might help you. Thank you, Shafali.
Okay.
I know. Yeah, just give me a moment, everyone. Yes, yes. You are at Navigator. Very good, Shafali. Okay, just wait there. I've uploaded another file in a new format. Let's connect with that and see if that doesn't give you any error. The file has extension of .xls and x, the one that I have
Yes,
shared.
ma'am. It is loading.
Correct?
I got the navigator, right. Thanks.
All right, great. Everyone who is getting the error, all right, the issue is it is not able to read the 2007 version of Sample Superstore. So I've shared the recent Excel version of Sample Superstore in chat. Go ahead and connect with that. You will not have any issues there. Let's click on open. This kind of navigator window should you should be here. Now in this navigator window right now, we can see multiple order people and written, but in originality, okay, we had only 3 sheets. So why do we have different objects here? The reason is someone has filtered the database in that particular Excel sheet. So that filter database is getting extracted separately. In this people here, okay, this is the name given to it. That's why people is here. People 2 is here because this is a sheet. So every time there is a different separate object, that's why they're here like this. Okay. So what we need here, when we click on the name, now please remember when I'm clicking on the name here, where my cursor is say. So when I click on name here at orders, it will simply give me the preview. But also notice here, even if I'm looking at preview by clicking on the name orders here, it's still this transform data and load are inactive. They will become active only when we check and select a data set. So here we are going to select orders. We are going to select people here. And we are going to select returns to here. So basically those who are working in the new file, okay, you will get sample 3 sheets. Just select these 3. Selsa, I have shared another sample superstore file right now. Can you connect with that and confirm? This is the another file that I've shared. It will not give you any issues.
Yes, Yola.
Great. So let's check on orders, people, and returns too. Those who have worked with the previous file. Those who are working with the new file here, you will see only 3 sheets there. Check on all 3. Order, people, and return, please. As we can see here in the orders, we have a simple data set here that we have worked with yesterday. This is the people's table, who manages which region. And you can see that it cannot identify the header here. In orders, it is able to identify the header. And here it is not identifying the header. When you go to returns also, it is not identifying the header. Instead, it is giving a dummy header, column 1, column 2. Select all 3. After selecting all 3, there are 2 options, load and transform. Load means it will directly load the data in our Power View and Power Pivot. We never want to do that. Why? Because right now we can see the columns are not identified. Maybe there are duplicates of blank rows. We have no idea. So we never directly load the data until we are getting a cleaned data set from Excel. Where are we going to click? We are going to click directly on transform data. This transform data is going to take us to Power Query. This transform data will take us to Power Query. So once you have checked on all 3, everyone, please click on transform data and tell me what do you see. You can write on chat, you can unmute yourselves, anything.
Power Query Editor.
Telsa, is it working with you? And everyone else? Are we here? Are we able to do that? Select order people and return.
For me, it is not yet working. It is showing the same error again. So what I suggest is I'll just see what you're doing and then afterwards I'll resolve the problem.
64 bit of database engine. Client software. Okay, see, you need a software to be downloaded for your Microsoft and within your Microsoft Windows. Okay, so do you see there is a link there, Selsa? You need to
Yes.
go to that link and download that particular OLTV software so that Power BI can work properly.
Okay, I'll
Okay.
do it
Right
afterwards.
now.
I'll just see. I'll follow you
Yes, yes,
now.
yes. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you for consideration, Silsa. Thank you very much. Now we click on the transform data, and yes, it will take us to Power Query Editor. And we can see that Power Query Editor is the part of Power BI because we still have our Power BI, see, at the back. And on top of it, we have Power Query Editor. Let's see this Power Query Editor. I'm going to expand this. Yes, again, this is a very, very different interface here. And this Power Query Editor, first thing you should be looking at, yes, you have got tabs, you have got ribbons. And these ribbons are helping us to transform, add columns, and view multiple things about the data set. Within this Power Query now, look at this. This is your formula tab. This formula tab is will be written in queries or mock language automatically. Have we written any codes yet? No, but the code is written here. How this code is getting here? Because we are getting the data from Excel, meaning we are connecting with a file. So now we have three parts in here. What are these three parts here? First part here is queries part. These are the queries here which are getting connected from the file path. What is queries in Excel? So if you have worked in Power Pivot before, all the data set that we connect with, all the tables that we connect with are called as queries here, And in between here, we see the preview. This in between here, we see the preview. Why this? This is a preview only for 1,000 rows. No matter how big your data is, preview will be only for top 1,000 rows. Yes, you can sort it. You can definitely sort it and see the last 1,000 rows too. Okay, by sorting, you can see last 1,000 rows too, but preview will remain only to top 1,000 rows only. Now here is the query settings, meaning whatever database we select here, that settings can be done here. In these settings here, we are writing name here. Okay, you can change the name of that particular data set. And here, this is the very, very important part, applied steps. This is what gets coded at the back. So whatever you are doing in Power Query to clean your data set, all these steps are getting recorded here. For example, right now we have connected with the source. So it is saying that you have connected with the source. Look at the formula bar here. And we can step by step audit each step. Okay, step by step, we can go and audit that. So when you click on source, look at your formula tab. The formula or the morph code is written for us. The formula or the morph code is written in the formula tab. You click on navigation. So when you are in the source, look at the preview. It is identifying what tables are there and what kind of tables, and it is extracting the data tables out of it. So these are the name of the tables, and it is extracting the value out of that. When you go to the navigation here, it has extracted this particular table. And then it has changed the data type. So it can identify the data type, what kind of data is written inside each column. So if you click on people here, you will find the same steps. For orders also, it has followed the same steps. But in orders now, you will see it has followed 4 steps. First is the source. See the morph code written for us. Navigation here. In source, you can see the whole file path is there. It has navigated where the data set is. After data set, see it has promoted the headers, meaning the first row has headers here. These are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are number of rows here. And it has promoted the headers for us. And it has changed all the data types. So it can identify right now, see ABC, ABC, and ABC is written in the third promoted headers. Just look on the screen. We are not changing anything. Just first see here. Later then I will direct you what to do. Just see where we are. We are in the orders table right now. I clicked on orders table here, right? And then I went towards the right side in the applied steps, and I clicked on each and every step. And we are looking at the morph code and how does that transforms our data set. After promoting the header, we can see headers are here, and look at everything here. It is ABC, date is also ABC. If I go towards the right, the numbers are also in string format or text format. Now it has automatically identified each and everything, and it has changed the type here. So it identifies it as a decimal, it is a number, and it identifies here, this is a date too. And all of this is done by itself. We are not doing anything. So Power BI writes this inquiry basis of whatever codes are done. So just by extracting the data set here, all of this is done automatically for us. So here, Power Query will work on data type. Power Query will work on data type of each column. It works on data type of each column. All right. But the formatting of the data, or let's say data format for each column, will be done in Power BI or Power View. So can anyone tell me what is the difference between data type, setting a data type and setting a data format for each column? What is data type versus data formatting? Yashoda, you're saying something?
Yeah, so data formatting is basically if you want to put a date. So whether you want the month first or the year first, that can be the formatting. And data type is whether it is what are you looking out of the data to be driven out, if I'm right.
Excuse me, can I give an answer?
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, as far as data type is concerned, it tells us what type of data that the column is storing as a value. So if let us say there is an employee ID, then it can hold either the numeric data, integer data. And as far as the gender is concerned, it can store the data in the form of Boolean data like yes, no, all right. And second part is basically concerned with the formatting the data which we have already entered.
Correct. Absolutely correct. May I get your name again, please?
Rinky.
Rinky,
Yes.
right. Okay. So absolutely correct. So what is data type here? Data, as Rinky has explained very beautifully, yes, data type is how we are saving the data or how Power BI is reading this particular column. That is data type. What is data formatting? Data formatting is how do we want to see the data. So if you read in the chat here, Santosh and Deepa has also written the same thing. Data format is how do we want to display or show the data to the user. So for example, here, if I go ahead and say that this particular order date is an order date, then we are fine. Okay, this is an order date. So how the order date is written? 3/1/2021, right? If I go ahead and now I want to write it like this, that I want to write here 3rd January 2021. This is changing the format. Maybe I want to write only January 2021 or January 21. So the underlying date is still same. I'm simply changing the formatting. Or data type is, let's say, decimal. Let's say data type here is decimal or let's say float, and that is 12.31. This 12.31 is actually a sales number. So if I go ahead and I want to format the sales number, we can go ahead and put a dollar sign, rupee sign, whatever we require at 12.3. So this is all about what we want to see here. Underlying value will remain same. So this is a huge difference between data type and formatting. And it is important to understand within Power BI because Power BI will, or Power Query will only handle data type, but the formatting will be done in Power BI or the Power View. So now here, everyone, please work with me. Now you are going to work with me. Right now, we were simply navigating in here. Okay. Step number 1. Let's go to returns here. Let's go to returns here. Last table returns. Just click on it. One click. And now we can see the preview of the return. We can see there right now this return and order ID are at row number 1. But what we want to do here, we want it to move upwards and make it column headers. We want to do this here. How we can do it? So go ahead, let's go ahead to our home tab, right? In the home tab, towards the right-hand side, you will see use first row as headers here. We go to use first row as headers, drop down, and we click on this once. Just click on this once and you will see that your row number 1 will become, instead of column 1, column 2, it is going to replace column 1 and column 2. Do that, please. We are at return. We see column 1 and column 2 is there. We go to the home tab. find use first row as headers and click on the first option only once. Does it work for you? Remember, only once. It should look like this, returned order ID. And now you can see here on the right hand side, the step is written for you, and see change promoted headers. It has automatically changed the type. You don't have to do
Ma'am,
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
I just wanted to check. When I'm doing that, I'm getting yes and US date as the first option. If I have to undo it, how do I go about it?
Yes, there is no undo in Power Query. What we have to do is, wherever you have made the changes, look at your applied steps, okay, and
Yes.
simply cross it off.
Okay.
Cross it off. When you hover over it, it turns red.
Yes.
So why does that happen? Because you have clicked on use first row as headers twice.
Okay.
Just delete the last two steps and you will be back.
Right. So, yeah. Thank you.
All right. Okay, everyone. So are we able to see this here? I hope most of you are able to do it. That's why I specified click only once. Now, yes, great. Thank you. Now, everyone, let's go to people table here. The same option there, right? This let's go to the use first row as headers again. Remember that this is Power Query from Microsoft. It means use first row as header is available at multiple places. Right now, we're using only at the home tab and use first row as headers. Again, remember only once because there is no undo in Power Query. In Power BI, we have the Control Z, that undo that we all love, but in Power Query, we don't have that. If you want to delete anything here or any step, you need to go through step by step from here. Meaning you can go here and delete this particular step. If you want to delete any particular step in between, okay, you need to right click and delete from here. But there is no undo button. So here we go. We promote this also to top. Now let's click on orders again and let's check on the data type. How many data type this can Power BI can handle? Power BI can look at decimal numbers, fixed decimal numbers, whole numbers separately. What is a decimal number? A simple decimal number. Fixed decimal number is actually a currency with only 2 decimals there. This is a simple integer, percentage, date and time separately, and date, time, and time zone together. Plus, it can identify duration too. And here we have text or character. And now here, true and false is separate and binary is separate. True and false is actually true and false. The logical true and false will be there. And binary is that we usually know as Boolean. So here we are. These are the data types that it can handle. Using locale is another type of customized data type that you can define if it is not properly identified by Power BI. And this using locale is mostly used for date or date, time, and time zones. So if you're getting your data from somewhere outside, you can go ahead and select that particular language and the country from here. And accordingly, it is going to change everything over here. Okay, so here we are. Here you will find all the categories have been properly identified. So it identified our numbers properly here. And then here it has identified our categories properly too. So here, let's scroll towards the right. How do we scroll towards the right? I hope by now everyone has noticed that there's a scroll bar at the end. And there is a vertical scroll bar at the side too. So let's scroll bar here. Let's see. Let's go to the end. Here we can see sales, quantity, discount, and profit. Reach here, please. And here, sales is currency. Profit is also currency. Discount is percentage. Discount is in decimals. It's a percentage. So scroll towards the right, everyone. Here we can see sales, quantity, discount, and profit. Let's change the data type. For sales here, we can go how to change the data type here. Now, please remember, in each column name, there are 3 components. All the 3 components will behave differently too. If you will click on 1.2 here, if you click on this 1.2 here, it is going to open the data type. If you'll click on the far right, this drop down here, it will open the sort and filter option for you. If you will go ahead and click on name of the column, if you'll go ahead and click on name of the column, the center part here, it is going to give you data transformation options that are already present in the ribbons above. I will show you right now. This is 1.2. I'm clicking on 1.2 here. You will find that all the data types are here. Let me convert this into decimal number. So let's click on 1.2 and change this into fixed decimal number. It will ask us, do you want to replace the current or add a new step? Always add a new step. In replace current, it is going to simply edit the previous coding that it has done. So we don't want that. We'll always add a new step, because if anything goes wrong, we can delete that step independently. So click on add new step. Now I'm going to click on this drop down and see this drop down gives us sort and filter. It is exactly similar to Excel. Even the number filters options are exactly same. We don't need to filter out anything right now, but there are these options available. This is true for each and every column. Now, same thing we do with profit. We are going to convert this into a fixed decimal number. And discount here, we do have percentage. So let's convert this into percentage. Please do that. Change fund with profit and sales with dollars and discount with percentage here. Once you're done, I need a confirmation right now, because now we are going to load this data into Power View and Power Pivot. Done? Okay, I hope most of you are able to do it by now. Power BI is technical. It's too technical as compared to Tableau. Now let's go ahead and load the data set. To load the data set, what do we do here? We go ahead and we click on close and apply. What is meant by close and apply? It will close the Power Query window and apply or load the data set into Power Pivot. So this is close and apply. Even if you go to the drop down, it will give you the same options here. Click on close and apply. It will close the Power Query and upload the data here. When it is uploading the data, okay, for a flash of a second, you can see how the changes are getting applied. Loading the data, evaluating, waiting for other queries, creating connection in the model. Now loading the data set to the model. And now it will show you how many rows are actually there. It will be gone in a flash of a second. And now look at your data. Now look at your data. We have ordered people and written here. Now in Power BI, everything works on collapsing and expanding. What is meant by collapsing and expanding here? See here, it will collapse. Next here, expand, collapse, expand, collapse. Even the panes that are here, which are not giving much space to work on report, you can collapse them from this double arrows and expand them. So if you're working with them, keep them open, otherwise close them. And everything in Power BI, since there is too little space to work in this particular interface, everything will depend on expansion and collapse of a particular object. Whenever you will upload data in Power BI, first step is to always go ahead and check our data model, because we have more than one file. So we will go ahead and check our data model view in our Power Pivot. Remember that Power Pivot is not a separate window. It is within Power View. We cannot view that particular window. We can only go to data model view. This is are now connected with each other. Do you see the connection there, right? Do you see the connection here? And this particular table, it can be again, you can collapse it, see, collapse it and expand it again. And you can resize it too.
Ma'am, can you please repeat the step?
Have you closed and applied yet?
Uh,
Are you here?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I'm here.
Right? Now
Right.
here, click on the third option, model view.
Okay. Done, ma'am.
Right? Now in the model view here, it has identified correctly here. So first
Okay,
resize
okay.
this orders, please. And you will see there is a connection made between these two tables on the basis of region is the common column. Region is the common column, right? So we see 1 and a star is written here. It is basically the cardinality of the relationship, meaning the region here in people's table is written only once, but the regions inside this orders tables are going to be repeated multiple times, and that's understandable. So that is one too many. Shafali, does it read region and regional manager, or does it read column 1 and column 2? Only peoples and orders will be connected. If it is column 1, data, okay? If it is not, you can simply drag and drop the region to the region and you can establish the connection. But since we already have that, we don't need to do it here. You can share the screenshot also, okay? So here we can see cardinality is 1 to many. Okay, it means the region here, north, south, east, west, whatever the regions are, they are getting repeated multiple times in the orders data set. But here they are only 4 regions, so and the 4 regional managers. So we are having only that. But this returns table here is not connected with this order ID. There is a reason for that. The reason here is, give me a moment. Yes, it is not going to connect, Shapali, because you have not promoted the headers for people's table. So give me a moment. We are definitely going to go back. Okay. This is returns to everyone, but this order ID and here we have order ID, they both should be connected. To make a connection here, we will simply drag and drop. To make a connection here, we simply drag and drop that these are the 2 common columns. But as soon as we do that, we get a warning message. It says that in both the tables, order ID is getting repeated multiple times. So if it is getting repeated multiple times, your data model is going to behave very differently. It might give you incorrect answers. It means that we need to go back and check and make sure, can we delete the duplicates in returns table? And it should not impact anything on our data set or the analysis. So we have to now go back again and check. And remember that this checking will happen a lot. I know we are not creating some beautiful charts right now. Give me 5 more minutes and we will be creating the charts. But this is a very important step here to understand how Power BI works with the relationships. So what we will do here, we cannot create a relationship because we can see here 626262. It is getting repeated multiple number of times. Meaning, and it says it is written. Meaning is very simple, that we don't need to write multiple times it is written. Okay, there are duplicates in our returns too here. So here, everyone, what we will do, we will directly click on transform data and we go back to Power Query because now we need to remove the duplicates. This is the reason we are removing duplicates, because the relationship cannot be established. Deepti, we have not done anything. We are simply here. We are not doing anything here. Okay, we are now going to transform data and delete the duplicates from the returns table. So let's click on transform data, please. This transform data will take us to Power Query again. So once when we extract the data and click on transform data on navigator, it takes us there. Otherwise, you click on transform data here and it takes us back to the Power Query. Shefali, go to people's table, please. This is only for Shefali, no for no one else. Everyone, please come back here. Shefali, click on people's table, okay, and use your first row as headers. Please do that. Deepa, are we here? Clicked on transform data. I was just explaining what is data model.
No, ma'am. I just missed out with that new relationship when you were showing that. I just missed out with that particular part. That's all. How you found? How did you get that?
It's fine. We are going to do that again. Okay. And second thing is, we were not changing anything there. I was just showing you that it is showing a warning sign. Okay. Don't worry. Shipali, click on transform data there. You are here, right? Click on transform data, please. Within the home tab, transform data is there. It will take you back directly to query here. And now highlight people's table and use first row as headers. Done? Great. Thank you. Now let's go to returns to. Now we'll go to returns to here. And what we want to do here, we want to delete duplicates. Now everyone, please work with me here. Click on returns here. And we want to delete duplicates from this table. And now we can see, yes, there are too many duplicates here. Yes, 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 written everywhere. So let's go ahead and remove the duplicates. From where do we want to remove the duplicate? From the rows. So we again go back to home tab. In the home tab, we go to remove rows here. Remove rows, drop down. So here it is, remove rows, drop down here. And we click on remove duplicates. You can see you can remove top rows, bottom rows, alternate, blank, and errors. So you have multiple options here to clean your data set. So go to home tab, go to remove rows, drop down, and click on remove duplicates. On the right hand side here, left hand side bottom corner here, you can see it is showing us columns, 2 columns and 800 rows. And column profiling is based on first 1,000 rows. So on the left hand bottom corner, you can see that explanation there too. So we go to remove rows and we remove duplicates. Right. Highlight order ID and then remove duplicates. Now you will be left with 296 rows. So order ID is duplicated here. Highlight this, remove rows and remove duplicates. Read on the left and bottom corner. Do you have 296 rows? And now here we can see the order IDs are not getting repeated.
Ma'am, when I do that, I get only 2 rows and 1 column. So I've cancelled it out and I'm trying it again. So first is when I go to returns.
Select order ID column.
Okay.
Now go to remove rows and remove duplicates.
Okay. Yeah. So I did the first one as returns and that is how it went the other way. Thank you.
I did the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So first highlight order ID and then remove the duplicates from here, everyone. And now we are left with 296 rows. Make sure that you have proper column headers. Make sure you have proper column headers. Okay. In both the tables. Now let's close and apply, everyone. Please close and apply here. Now we are here. Okay, now let's drag and drop the order ID from the orders table. Let's drag and drop the order ID from the orders table to returns table. Drag and drop on top of it. Drag this order ID on top of the order ID in the returns table. Let's do that. Drag and drop. And immediately it will be 1, too many, and we're good. So now our data is prepared right now. So whenever we upload the data, first step is to set the model here properly. If you have multiple data set out here, then go ahead and set the model. After setting the model, now we will go for data formatting. To check on the data formatting, we need to work with table view. We need to work with table view, that is the second view here. That is the second view here. So please confirm, do you see this particular line created? Connection is there? Is everyone able to drag and drop? I'm looking at reactions and messages both. Great, thank you. Now let's click on here. Let's click on table view. Let's click on table view here. As soon as you will switch to table view, now I will let you pay attention here. When you click on model view, you had only two ribbons, home and health. When you're clicking on table view, find that you have only home, health, and table tools. Table tools means these are the tools that you can use to format or do any changes inside this particular table. That's why this is table tools. Now do one thing. All right. Look at your order date right now. Look at your order date right now. Okay. Now it is formatted to a separate different type of a format. Okay, right now it's a full date format where I have January written in full spelling. But in Power Query, we had only a number. Right? So in this order date here, let's go ahead and simply select this order date. Select this order date. And the whole column will be selected similar to Excel. Select this column here and this column will be selected. The moment column gets selected, you will see that another tab opens up and that is column tools. So this will work similarly as it does in Microsoft. Okay, whenever you click on something, the related tab will open up. So we are in table, so we have table tools. We highlight any column, column tools will open up. Now inside the column tools, we have something familiar, that is our number formatting option here. That is our number formatting option here. So within the column tools, we can see we have formatting option here. We also have properties option, categorizing the data option too. So these two options are here. First is we highlight the order date. If you want order date to be in this format, you can keep it here or you can change that to any other format that you want. Now it depends on you in which location you are working and what kind of data format is followed in within your organization. So there are multiple different formats here. I'm not changing anything. I'm just showing you this here. Similarly, let's scroll towards the right, see our numbers here. So these numbers are picking up rupees here. A reason is it is picking up the local instance right now. So it understands that where I am and what kind of currency is followed here. You can also notice here that now here in profit, we have too many decimals here and we have got too many decimals and sales too. Sometimes there is only one decimal, sometimes there are two decimals. So now this formatting we have to do here. As soon as you will highlight the sales column, you will see in the data formatting, the currency is there. And now here you can decide the decimal places too. So this is currency. From here we decide decimal places. It is automatic right now. We set the decimal places to 2. So you need to simply click inside and type 2. So everywhere now you will see 2 decimal places. If you want to change the currency symbol here, we can always go to the currency symbol here. This is your currency symbol if you want to change anything. These are common ones and these are others. Do this formatting for the sales and profit too. Do that please. For sales and profit too, same formatting. Go to currency, reduce decimals to 2 and change the currency to dollars. Change the currency to dollars. Similar to Excel, The conversion doesn't mean the currency is going to convert. It simply replaces the symbol here. Okay. And no, there is no format painter within data formatting here. So here we go, highlight profit. We go ahead and we set the currency first to 2. We press enter after typing 2. We'll wait for a moment. It will update itself. Then we can go to the currency drop down here and we click on English United States. If you have worked intensively with the Access or Excel, Power BI interface is familiar.
Ma'am, when I tried doing that for profit, I mean, like, I put it to decimal numbers too, and then I give the currency sign, either of it goes.
What goes?
I mean, like, when I'm first, what I did is I reduced the decimals to 2. And
Right.
then now I'm trying to give the dollar sign. So then
Right.
it just, the decimals shifted. Now, I mean, like, now I'm able to get through. Earlier it happened. I mean, like, I was doing one and the other action was moving out. All right.
Okay. All right. Okay. So now we have done the sales and we are done with sales and profit. Okay. How do we check that whether the correct data formatting is there or not? So you can see in the data formatting, please expand the orders table in data tab. So go to data tab, everyone, and expand the orders here. And look at the category, city, region, discount. So you will notice that wherever it is discount, profit, quantity, row ID, sales. So wherever you see the numerical values here, okay, there is a summation sign in front of that. Meaning if there is any numerical value, it should identify this here and it should summarize it. Meaning if we are selecting sales here, the default summarization here that we can see is sum in the properties here. So in the properties here, right now we can see that the default summarization is sum for any of these columns, numerical columns basically. So this is the default summarization given by Power BI. Similarly, if you look at the order date, the icon looks like a calendar, meaning this order date and ship date has been identified as a date format. But let's look at the city, country, and region. The city, country, and region are simply a text and nothing else. But we want them to be recognized as a geographical category. The reason is so that if we want to create a map sometime, okay, we should be able to grab the latitude and longitudes. Because here in city and country, you can see that we have just names, nothing else. So we cannot create the maps here without having the latitude and longitude values for us. So if Power BI can identify these country and city as a geographic data, then only it is going to fetch the latitude and longitudes for us. So to do that here, let's go ahead in the data pane and click on country or region. When you click on country and region, you will notice that automatically it actually selects the column at this end. So whether you select the column from here or whether you select the column from data pane here, both are same thing. So if I select on country here, the country and region is selected here. Now go to data category drop down in the properties. So inside the column tools, we go here below summarization and here we have categories. What categories do we have? See here right now, we have address. Yes, it can identify address. It can pinpoint that address with latitude and longitudes. You have got address, some place, okay, city, county, state and province, postal codes are identified and country too. Or any of these can be devised here and it can identify and grab a proper latitude, longitude, or any underlying values required. Remember that when you are going to the data type drop down, make sure you select country which is below postal code because there are two things, county and country. We want country that is below postal code here. So we are selecting country or region here. We are going to the data category drop down and then we are clicking on country. Let's click on country, please. Do we understand how the data categorization has been done? And now it is a globe sign here. You can give me a quick reaction if you are able to do this. All right. Now we will do same with city. Go select city, drop down, categorize this as city. We do have postal code. Everything is again in alphabetical order. You can easily find it. So this is below order ID. We have postal code. We will go ahead and we highlight postal code here. Similarly, go to state, scroll down, you'll find state or province. You'll find a state or province. Select a state or province in the data pane. And now click on a state or province here. Please go ahead and give proper category to all the four. City, postal code, and state. City, postal code, and state. Please select each one of them and accordingly give the category, please. Once you're done, let me know. Once you're done, let me know. All the three, everyone. That is your city, postal code, and state. This is the part in Power BI where we have extracted, transformed, and formatted the data properly. Now we will go ahead and create visualizations. Let's see how to do that. So let's cross the top here. And now we will click on the first left-hand upper corner. We'll click on this Power View. So once the table is ready, everyone click on this Power View here, left-hand upper corner here. Now we are going to create a report. Now we'll go ahead and create a report. There are multiple formatting options available here. Okay, but
sorry, ma'am, I just missed it. How do I come out of this table?
Here, do you see on left-hand corner? We have table. Just above the table, we have report view.
Yes.
Here. Okay.
Thank you.
Here, build visuals with your data set. We have visualizations pane, everyone, and we have data pane here too. Now we will start with creating some visualizations here. Now, if you want to create a visualization, there are multiple ways to do it. Either you can create a visual first and then you go ahead and create, and then you go ahead and check data from here. Or it can go in a separate way, meaning first you create a proper numerical report by using the data and then you decide what kind of chart should be there. So what I prefer is first you create a report and then convert that into a chart. That is a better way to go because it doesn't guides us which one is a better chart. It has no guidance system. So it's better that we create a report first and then we convert that into an appropriate chart from here. So you'll see some examples right now. So everyone, click on this white space. Click on this white space here. Only once, so that we know we are going to work here. Step number 1, let's create exact same report that we have done yesterday with tab 2. Let's get category wise sales. So this is our category. Let's click on category here. This is category. Simply check on category. Simply check on category here. Do you see category written in rows? Do you see category written here in rows? In a very small font, but it is written here. Left and upper corner of your report. Right? Also notice that under your visualizations pane, this table is highlighted in a gray box. A table is highlighted, icon is highlighted in a gray box. Observe this too. So by default, when I'm selecting this category here, it is giving me a table. Now we have sales here. Let's go ahead and check on sales. Let's go ahead and check on sales.
I'm sorry,
Yes?
I do not have the headings. I just have in the data, I have orders, people, and returns too.
You have the data. You need to expand it. As I've explained before, in Power BI, everything works on expansion and collapse. So once you expand it, you will see it here. Okay, so now we can check on category, right? We can observe that it is going into the tables. Now let's check on sales here, everyone. Check on sales. And you can see sales here added as a report. We do have a total added here. Also observe, there are multiple components here. Okay, so here let's look at columns. Now what happens in Power BI is whenever you create any visualization, for each visualization, it is going to give you multiple different options just below the charts. So for example, if we are creating a table view, this is called as our normal table, right? It's a normal table that we are creating. Inside this table, we can keep everything into the columns. So this is the category column. This is the sum of sales column. Whenever, if I say you go ahead, so this is a very small report, everyone. I hope everyone has this report right now. Because now we are going to see here, how does Power BI visualization pane works once we have the report. So make sure your report is selected. Once your report is selected, you can see the transformation lines here. Great. Thank you very much for the responses. I'm looking
Ma'am,
at.
I'm sorry. I'm a little behind. I mean, I've got the category. I'm yet to get the sum of sales. So what am I supposed to click there for?
Sales. Just scroll down, find sales. Check on that, please.
Okay.
Do you see this output?
Yes.
Is the table is highlighted here?
Right.
Great. Let's move forward. So now here, everyone look at the visualization pane, make sure it is selected. And wherever, and right now here, just focus on below visualization. So first click on any visualization and focus what options are here after this visualization pane here at this particular space. Okay. Give this portion attention there. Step number 1, I'm going to select the first chart that Power BI provides, that is stacked bar chart. Let's click on that. As soon as you click on the stacked bar chart, now it has created a chart on that particular report. That's fine, but I want you to look at here. I want you to look at inside this box right now, inside this box. Automatically, it has created x-axis, y-axis, and it has grabbed category in x-axis and sum of sales here. And it has several different options here too. If I go to here, another chart, for example, column chart here, again, it has x and y axis, it is keeping it here. These are all column charts, right? Line charts are going to have x and y axis too. Let's go ahead and click on the pie chart. Let's go ahead and click on the pie chart right now. There is a pie chart, right? Once you will click on the pie chart, you will see that now these will change again. Now these will change again. Click on donut chart. Now these will change again. So every time your view is going to change and these options are going to change. This is how we decide or create the reports. It is exactly like pivot. You drag and drop everything that you want from the data pane inside this particular box where the options of visualizations are there. And for each visualization, the options will keep changing here. Okay. So everyone, let's stick at the donut chart here. Let's create a donut chart right now. Because we have only 3 categories, we can go ahead with that. So let's create a donut chart here. Are we at the donut chart? Can we see that it is asking legend, values, and details? Very different, right? If I go to bar here, now this is going to be different too. So let's stick with one chart and see the formatting options here. Great. So first, let's create a simple bar chart because this is what we have created in Tableau. And let's see what are the formatting options available in Power BI for this particular simple bar chart. Now I have the same question here. All right. What modifications or formatting we need to do on this particular bar chart? As
Percentages. Last time, yesterday, what we did, percentages instead of having individual values.
Absolutely correct. And you must have noticed one thing, it is automatically sorted. We haven't sorted it yet. So it automatically sorts your data most of the time. So now how do we go ahead with the formatting and add it? Yes, value over the bar. That value is called as data labels. Absolutely correct. So how do we go to the formatting? In the visualization panes, we have a second option with a bar and a brush. That is our format options. Click on the format option, please. In this format option, you have 2 types of formatting. One is visual formatting. Make sure your chart is selected. You go to formatting here. You have 2 types of formatting, visual formatting and general formatting. Visual formatting is visual specific formatting. What is visual specific formatting? If you have a bar chart, okay, a column chart, these visual formatting will be different. If you have a pie chart, the formatting will be different. And general is simple. Okay, what kind of background do you want? Borders do you want? So that is a general. That is common with all the charts. So right now in the format of visual, we are in the visual. We want to open up data labels. So you will find data labels here. You need to scroll down and switch on. You need to scroll down and switch it on. Scroll down and switch this on. Do you see here numbers or do you see numbers in millions? What kind of labels are you looking at once you switch them on?
In millions.
Right? Do we need them in millions or not?
We want
want
to
them
convert it to percentage.
Right. So later we can convert that into percentage, right? So we'll switch on the labels, we leave it at that. Because calculation will not happen from the formatting pane. So this is the data labels here. I would like all of you to please expand a data label. Again, same thing, everything works on expansion. So expand your data labels here. And see here, you have the option here to decide the position of your header. Where do you want to keep it? These numbers. Okay, whether you want to keep them inside or outside, where do you want them? So let's keep them at the center, inside center. So what we are doing, we are expanding the data labels here. Expand, okay? Expand data labels and scroll down. Expand data label and scroll down here. Once you will scroll down, you will see multiple options within the data labels. Apply settings to, ignore that. We want to apply settings to all the values out here. In the options, you have position. And in the position, you can go to the drop down and click on inside center. Click on inside center, you will see your values are at the center. Yes. After that, look at the value here. So you have options, you have title, value, detail, background. Let's go ahead and expand value. This value will help you to format your font. And remember that this is a little complicated because of the expansions and collapse. Every time you need to expand something and collapse something. Okay. Overflow text means it will go outside the bar also. That is overflow text. So here we are value, right? And you can change the font if you want. For example, I'm simply keeping on bold here. When you scroll down, you can change the units. Right now, the unit is automatic. If you want to see these units in thousands, you can keep that in thousands too. Or you can keep it automatic from here. Okay, from here we change the units. We are not changing units now, but I'm showing you it can be changed from here too. So this is here your data labels value. You have several options inside it that can be followed up. Right now, we will stay here. We switch on the data labels and in the values, we change the font. We are simply clicking on bold right now. We are not doing any more changes. So we have added data label. Now what we want to do, as usual, we want to switch off these values, right? What we want to do, we want to switch off these values that are in the x-axis right now because it is redundant right here. So how to do that? To do that here, we will again scroll up. We are going to scroll up here. And we are going to our x-axis. So we have y and x-axis here. Go to x-axis, expand x-axis. Inside this, you'll find value switch on and off button. You can switch off the value button and the values will be gone. To remove the values from the x-axis, we go to the x-axis here and we simply switch off the values here. Once you switch off the values, can you please confirm with a quick emoji that yes, it is working for everyone? Because navigating here with this collapse windows here, it is a bit tricky. for the first time when we see this interface. All right, great. Now we have switched off the values. We are good to go right now. Now what we want to do here, we want to change that. We also want to give proper borders and everything. So we can click on general here. Okay, expand the effects. We have a background color. So you can give a background color here of your choice. You can increase the transparency. You can switch on visual border, switch on shadow. This is how it will look like. Choose any color for your background, depends on you. And increase the transparency, otherwise the color can be a bit darker. When you increase the transparency, the color will be lighter and it can actually take the color from the background of the canvas too. And look at the title right now, sum of sales by category, right? That is the title that we have here. We have category, technology, furniture, office supplies, and in here we have sum of sales. Set the background first, please. Background switch on, choose the color, increase transparency, switch on visual border, switch on shadow. And look at your chart here, almost ready. I'm looking forward to, if anyone, if you're done, let me know. If you have questions, let me know. Click on general, set the backgrounds. Remember that everyone in Tableau, everything was in front of us. Each and every option was there. We can see it, we can use it. Power BI, everything is hidden. We have to go ahead, find it out, and then apply it. Even a very, very small things like data labels. So it makes using Power BI a lengthy process and a little complicated. But it is useful for purposes of accessing data and cleaning data. As compared to Tableau, it is good in itself. This is the background, everyone. And now let's go back to our visual. Because what we want to set the calculation, right? So go ahead to the visual here. Let's click on the visual. Now we don't want sum of sales. Remember pivot, everyone? Right? So whenever we have sum of sales, we go to the drop down here. Let's go to the drop down here in sum of sales. So go back to visual. We will again see y-axis, x-axis. We can see sum of sales is here. We can go to the drop down. You can show the values as percent of grand total. Show values as percent of grand total. It will be converted into percentage. Please do that.
Can you please repeat this step?
Okay, are you in formatting right now?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you click on
No,
towards
I'm
the
in
left?
visuals.
Yes. Hello.
Ma'am, I'm in visuals. I'm done with table. What to
Right.
do after that?
Do you see x-axis sum of sales is written there? Right? Do you see
No, ma'am, I can't. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you see x-axis below here? Now
Yes, ma'am.
let's go to sum of sales drop down. Do you see multiple options have opened up? Sum, average, minimum, same as pivot tables.
Yes, ma'am.
Now
Yes, ma'am.
let's go to show values as percent of
Okay.
grand total here.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes.
Done.
Great.
Thanks, ma'am.
And here we have the percentage, everyone. So within Power BI, yes, it does take a little bit more time as compared to Tableau. But here we are. So this is telling us percentage of grand total sum of sales by category. It will write the title by itself. We don't have to write it. Once this is done, okay, please click outside to create the second chart. So let's click outside here to create a second chart. Remember that clicking outside is very important so that the selection, we can deselect it, okay? Next here is, let's create another report. Let's see how date behaves inside it. So we are going to here expand the order date in the data pane. When you expand the order date here, see there is an expansion button in the order date again. So when you expand the order date, you can see date hierarchy has been identified. So we expand the date hierarchy too. Say here. When you expand the date hierarchy here, you can see it has automatically identified year, quarter, month, and day separately. So let's see, we would like to see year-wise and quarter and month, right? So check on year, quarter, and month. And you'll find that a table has created automatically, which is year, quarter, and month. And in here only, we would like to see our sum of sales. Please do that. Expand order date, check on year, quarter, and month, and then check on sum of sales. You should be looking at a table. You should be looking at a table. I hope we all have a table here. Let's see how date behaves when you convert this into a line chart, because we are working with time series. So we'll create a line chart. Year, quarter, month inside date hierarchy. Remember expanding and collapsing things here. And then we check on sales. After that, we want to convert this into a line chart. Go ahead and click on the line chart. Remember that Power BI visualizations placement will change as per the size of our screens. Okay, so please go ahead, find where your line chart is and click on the line chart, please. Click on the line chart, please. When you click on the line chart, you should be looking at year-wise line, a blue colored line here. Do we have that here? I'm looking at reactions and responses both. Do you have a line chart looking like this? Very good. Great. Thank you for the responses here. Now let's see. When you click on the line chart here, based on where you have kept your chart, you are going to see multiple arrows here. These arrows are either going to be on below your sheet or maybe above your particular chart. So now it depends on you, where have you kept it. So if you have kept it just above where I have kept it, you will see it below your chart, multiple arrows, or you will see it above your chart here. Okay, so you have to identify where are you looking at these arrows, above your chart or below your chart, depends on you. If I will keep it here, it doesn't have a space there, it will go ahead and give us the charts here. Now, what are these arrows? These arrows are going, see, we have added all these three, year, quarter, and month, but it is showing us only year. Why? Because these arrows here are going to help us to drill down in the hierarchy. Since date is already identified as a hierarchy, it will work as discrete and continuous both. So here, if you go ahead with the go to next level in hierarchy, so do you see this double parallel arrows here? Go ahead and click on this here. When you will click here, you will recognize that this is the same quarter by sales chart where it is going to quarter one of each year and adding it up. So right now it's discrete. Similarly, you go to next level in hierarchy, you will see month here from each year. So right now it is acting as discrete. How do we get back our chart? We can move up through this up arrow key. So 2 times when you click here, we are at the lowest level of the data. When you hover the cursor, it will tell you. Now, there is drill up. You drill up, you're back to quarter, you're back to the original year. So this particular parallel here will act as discrete. If you want a continuous line, let's say for quarter and year, a quarter, month, and year, here is our hierarchy drop down. So just towards the right of this here, a flow chart kind of arrows are there. Click on that once. When you click on them once, you can see here continuous charts are here. We recognize this chart very clearly. Yes. So we can see here recognizing the chart. It says that. Now, how do I know it is month or year? You can read it here in the title. In title, it will tell you everything. This is sum of sales by year and quarter. This is sum of sales by year and quarter. When you click on this here again, when you click on this flowchart again, it changes to sum of sales year, quarter, and month. If you want to go back, now see it is grayed out, where is the lowest level of the data, and we click on drill up again. So this is actually available to the user about what they want to see. Okay, so go ahead and keep this on the monthly level. Let's keep this on the monthly level here. This is continuous monthly transactions happening out here. Go ahead, now do it by yourself. What you need to do here is you need to go ahead and click on this arrow here twice. Go ahead and click on this arrow here twice and you will look at this particular output. You must be thinking that now we have to format it again. Okay, so yes, we do need to format it again. But right now, since it is a time series chart, we don't need data labels here. So we will not be adding data labels. We will be simply doing the borders and the shadows. Reach here first and please confirm that yes, we are able to do this. This date hierarchy is present here. You can decide whether you want a discrete or whether you want a continuous one here. So just click on it here twice and you will reach to sales by year, quarter, and month. And no, Deepa. We don't have that option here. So let's see the formatting options for the line chart here. You will click on the format your visual. You will see now the visuals are pretty different. Okay, you can see here we have now lines, shades, area, and we have extra things like shade area, markers, labels of different types here, right? So remember that every month Power BI updates every month. So every month your formatting options or something or else will change. So you need to be updated about Power BI. So here we have multiple options here. In these options, we are only going to switch on markers. Markers are going to simply highlight the points here, data points here. Okay, switch on markers and you will see the markers here. We cannot switch on the data labels here because data labels do not have any option to show us maximum, minimum, or something like that. Okay, it will show all the values or it will not show any value. So we are not switching that on, but we are here. Only thing that we are changing is markers switch on. That's it, nothing else. If you want to, okay, just switch on markers and do nothing else, please. But yes, we can all go to the general settings here. So right now we are in visuals, right? In visuals, we went and switched on the markers. I hope by now everyone has done that. Now we are going to switch back to general settings here. Switch back to general settings here. In the general setting here, I'm simply going to expand effect, give a background color, increase the transparency, and switch on border and shadow. Right now we have two charts here, okay? Similarly, you can go ahead and create every other visual that you see here. Let's go ahead and add some other objects into it. What are the other objects that I'm talking about here? The other objects here are slicers. So as we have slicers in tables, we have slicers in here too. So please go to visualization and add a slicer. Where is the slicer here? How does a slicer looks like here? This is the slicer here, a card with a filter. A card with a filter here. You can see a funnel. Okay, find this out, please. It is near your table. Remember that when we want to add a slicer here, you can click outside here and click on the slicer. Reach here, please. Go back to visual, click outside in the white canvas. Select the slicer first. Slicer is exactly a slicer that we see in pivot tables. Click on the slicer here. In the slicer, we are going to keep region here. In the slicer, let's keep region here. Clicking on slicer, we can see a slicer is here. And we go to data pane and we check on region here. Do you see a check boxes of the region anywhere on your interface? Once you see that, let me know. I hope everyone is able to see the check boxes here. I understand if it feels fast because we have a very limited time right now. Okay, so I just want to show you at least the basics properly. And later you have to explore and learn. So this is the slicer, everyone. When you click on any one of that, it is going to change both the charts together. It is going to change both the charts together. Right? If you want to clear it, you can clear it from here. Now let's go to the format option of the slicer. Let's go to the format option of the slicer and let's convert this into a visually appealing, and attentive slicer here, so that the end user will have a good time working with it and they'll understand, okay, what I'm supposed to do here. So everyone go to format. In format, you have slicer settings. In slicer settings, you have options. And options, currently it's a vertical list. We can change this vertical list into a tile. So first, we are going to format. Inside visual, expand the slicer settings, expand options. In options, expand vertical list. And there you are going to see tile. And that's how the tile will look like. Tiles means, okay, right now we have 4 squares inside the slicer and each square will act like a button. Tile here, it is acting like a button. I'm going to place it up here. And yes, the placement will simply change their position. We don't have to do it. The way you place it, it will simply change its position automatically. Do that, reposition it, please. Yes, are we able to change into tile and reposition it? All right, that's good. And here we go. Let's check. It is working fine. Okay. As in Tableau, we have learned that these charts can also act as a filter for each other, right? We have seen that these charts can also act as a filter for each other. Here it is called as edit interactions. So when you click on here, we don't need to activate that. It is by default here. So when you click on here, you will see that it will automatically filters out the line chart. it automatically filters out the line chart. When you click on this selection again, the filter will go away. So click here, it is filtering. You click here, filter is gone. When you click on this here, line chart, any marker here or any dot here, all right, you will see this changing, but it will change. It is not filtering it out. Okay, it is not filtering it out. It is only highlighting it out. So when you click on any marker here, you will see it is simply highlighting it out. It is not filtering it properly. It is simply highlighting it. We can see at the back what is the total. And out of the total, how much percentage we can see it has been, we have done the business in. So there are multiple different types. There are only 3 types of interactions here. These interactions are either you can highlight it, filter it, or just choose not to filter it down. Where the edit interaction or the control button is, it is in the format option. So how do I know the format option? Click on your line chart. The moment you click on the line chart, you will see 2 extra tabs, format and data drill. When you click on the format option here, towards the left-hand side, you will find edit interaction. Edit interaction here. This edit interaction here, as soon as you switch this on, you can see here on the chart here. So if your line chart is selected, on the bar chart here, you can see 3 options, whether you want to get it filtered, highlighted, or you don't want it to be changed at all. So if I go ahead and click on this filter, all right, it will start filtering down. So now it will change normally as we would see it here. If it is in highlight mode, which is the default here, then it will look like this. So it depends on you. What is your objective, what you're trying to see. But you can change these type of interactions between the charts by using format and edit interactions. When you switch them on, you can see these options up here. When you switch it off, these options are gone. Switch on, options are here. Switch off, meaning click on that, the options are done. These are basic visualizations, interactions, slicers, and other visualizations are here. So here, Power BI provides multiple different visualizations out here. You can try it out. And you can try to recreate what we have done in Tableau. The most important part here in Power BI that you should all know that are AI visuals. What are AI visuals? Artificial intelligence visuals that can help you to explore your data if you're working for the first time here. So everyone, do you have this edit interactions? Have you seen where it is? Because I would like all of you to add one more page where we are going to discuss about AI visuals. I will show you where they are and you can explore them. It will help you a lot in working with Power BI for the first time and to explore your data set. So have you seen edit interactions where it is? In the format tab here, we can switch on and off. Selecting this, format, edit interactions here. I know it feels fast here because Power BI is too technical, but don't worry, you need to go through the video recording once more and you get familiar with, once you get familiar with this Power BI interface, you will be able to work around it. It is too technical and I understand that. For the first time as beginners, when we see it for the first time, it is intimidating as compared to Tableau. But it's fine, we can work around this too. If we can work on Access, we can work on this. All right. So let's go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Like yesterday, you remember I was stuck with one of the actions and that implication was seen on the other charts. So now when I tried doing with edit interactions and I have selected the second chart and I'm trying to move my cursor and apply filters, it's not moving as what it happened. So is it still like somewhere I have selected the other options?
You need to see, there is no hover action here. You have to select it. There is no hover action here. You have to simply select it. Only selection will work. Nothing else will work here.
So when I'm choosing the other options, I mean, like if I'm clicking on central region, the charts automatically, the sum of sales chart automatically changes. But when I'm clicking on it back again, it's back to the normal original data.
Right.
Yeah.
So
after
it removes the filter.
Yeah, I selected the line chart, the sum of sales chart, and then I applied this option of format and edit interactions. And then I went on to the, the first option of filters and affecting slicers. So
Okay.
when I click on that, it's not, I mean, like I move my cursor, I'm
It
not
is
able.
just to, Ritu, please understand this here. This is just to tell Power BI what I want to do. It doesn't filter out anything. Okay. For example, if I click here, I am telling Power BI that, see, I want to filter it out. But that doesn't mean it will filter it out. When I select something, then only it is going to filter it out. It is like giving information to Power BI, see whether I want to filter it out or highlight it out. Okay. It is not the filtering and highlighting that will affect your chart.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
it
these
is
actions are not happening. That's what I'm saying. Like whenever, whatever
these
actions are
happening.
right.
These are
For
happening.
me,
Why
it's
these
not
are
happening
happening?
if
If you click
I.
on technology, is it changing your line chart?
Yes, it does.
It means it is filtering it out. When you click on, let's say, when you click on any marker on the line chart, does it changes your chart here and the values inside it?
That is what I'm saying.
First, click on any marker. Click on any marker. Do you see numbers are changing here?
Yes, now it has changed.
Yes. So it means it is working. Why? Because edit interaction here is simply giving information. It only decides on selection what should happen. It doesn't simply filter it out. Okay.
Okay. Fine. Thank you.
Okay, everyone, let's go to page 2 here. Okay, please add a page 2 and let's go to modeling tab, everyone. Yes, go to insert tab, please. So from the home tab, let's go to insert tab. In insert tab, you're going to find AI visuals. These are artificial intelligence visuals. The most and all four are very useful. Since there is a time crunch, I will talk about one that is going to help you to create whatever charts you want if you're working here for the first time. So let's click on Q&A, please. This Q&A is a natural language processing artificial intelligence where you can ask questions about your data and it can give you the output. So please go ahead, add up another page and go to Q&A. In the Q&A here, let's say I would like to, it is giving you sample questions too, that these are the things that you can find out. Okay. So let's say we want to see that how what is the total profit over time. So when you click on Q&A, it is asking, ask a question about your data. So let's try this one, total profit over time. When you click on total profit over time, click on it. After clicking here, press enter, give it some time, and it will give you a line chart. It will give you a line chart. If you see this line chart and you think that, okay, I want to keep this as a chart with me, I want to keep this out as a chart for me, then you can keep it as that. How? Because if you will go ahead and cross this particular question off, this is gone. You will ask another question, another chart will come up. But we don't want that. So we will save this as a normal visual. How do we save this as a normal visual? Simply go ahead and click here. A very small icon there. Okay. When you hover the cursor over it, it will say that turn this Q&A result into a standard visual. So ask a question, you'll get an output, and then click on this icon, please.
Sorry to intervene, Shruti.
Hi, Deepa.
Yeah, I missed out with that part because I'm just getting two buttons here. One is maximum discount and most recent order. I am unable to view anything and everything that you're trying to explain right now in the Q&A. So how do I go? I probably missed some step of yours that you were mentioning. I went to Q&A and I found only two options there, maximum discount and most recent order. Those are the only two buttons which is displayed to me.
Okay, so have you expanded it to a larger size?
I did.
Okay,
or should I mention show all the suggestions?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, thank you.
Yeah, no worries. So here we go. And now do you see total profit over time?
Yes, I do.
Yes. Now when we click on it, we see a line chart. We want to keep that line chart with us. So we go ahead and we click on this icon, everyone. So do you have the chart of your own? By simply asking the question. Now, if you want to edit it, format it, whatever you want to do, you can do it right here. So I don't have to think that what do I want, what I don't want. Everything can be kept here. So this is your sum of profit. This is your Q&A. I will simply give you one more here with Q&A. So see here, we have maximum most recent order. Let's ask question for ourselves here. So I want to see average sales. So I'm typing here, I want to see average sales by state. Okay. So I want to see average sales by state. It will write it for us. Average sales by state. And here we are. Simply write average sales by state and change this here. You'll have your map. You don't have to create it. It will be done for you. Go ahead and do that, please. And for the first time, if you're working, use your Q&A, do the full list, make the changes or change the chart if you don't like it, but you will have even the calculations done for you. Okay, so this is very, very basic in Power BI. The time is very short. 2 hours is very short for Power BI, but I have tried my best to show as much as I can, because when we move forward from here, we have DEX measures, multiple different type of calculations out here. Table calculations, calculated columns, calculated tables. And then, of course, we have a huge Microsoft Fabric there. So Power BI is a very intense technical software as compared to Tableau. Tableau is pretty easier to work with. Everything is in front of us. Power BI doesn't show all the cards at once. So thank you very much, everyone. I hope you have liked the session. You have learned something new in this Power BI. I will share multiple links with Natika ma'am, and she will forward you those links. You can go to those links and learn more about Power BI and Tableau too, if you're interested in those. Okay, please go ahead with that.
Yeah,
Because of the
you can share
time
with
crunch,
us.
I cannot show you too many things here, but yes, I hope that works for you. Save your sheet.
Yeah. Is there a need for us to enable something? Because for me, there's an error. Map and filled map are disabled.
Because you're logged in right now. If you will log out, it will be there. So what happens is within your organization, say they have not bought the Power BI from them, right? So because of that, the visuals will not show up. So once you will sign out from there, then only it is going to show up. That's the issue with it.
Okay, thank you.
So Tableau is free, desktop is free, but they
Yeah.
will not give you all the things to work.
Thank you so very much.
Microsoft is like that.
Absolutely.
Buy everything from them.
Yes.
Great. So thank you very much. I'm going to save this here with today's date, and then we're off.
Okay.
Thank you very much,
I
everyone.
hope any queries for ma'am, y'all can
Yes.
please ask. I've posted the feedback link in the chat.
Ma'am, we have to save this file same like Excel.
Yes, same like Excel. And
Okay,
same like Excel, if we forget to save this, it will again go to either recovered files or it is never going to save your changes.
okay, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for delivering such a wonderful, fruitful, and engaging session. It was, you can see from the chat, it was enriching session for each one of them, and they could learn so many useful tools to generate, charts, analysis, graphs. Thank you so much, ma'am, on behalf of St. Francis Institute of Management and Research to accept our invitation to be one of the resource person in our 1 week FDP program. Thank you so much,
Thank you very
ma'am.
much. It was my pleasure to be connected with all of you.
Yes.
And let's meet in future too. Thank you very much.
Sure, definitely, ma'am.
And I wish all the best to everyone. Okay, have a wonderful week. And I wish you all a wonderful life and successful and the happy life there. Thank you very much. I will see you soon. Thank you. Thank you, Natika ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. So we can just have a lunch, quick lunch, and we can meet sharp at 1:25, everyone. So please join on time. And we will be having the post-lunch session today from Professor Dhaval Mehta.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.